Fortnite, the juggernaut of the battle royale genre. Like it or hate it, Fortnite became a global phenomenon in the gaming industry back in 2017 when battle royale games really started to become popular. Fortnite, which was once a purely cooperative survival game with building elements, skyrocketed to the top seemingly out of nowhere, and suddenly the whole world knew about it. And it wasn't just the gaming world either. It made hundreds of YouTubers and streamers insanely popular and earned them megabucks. Unfortunately, as you can see, I was clearly not one of those people, but that's a story for another time. Whilst this game continues to be one of the most popular games out there, yes, this is up for debate, but let's not open that can of worms. At some point, a new game is going to come along and take its place. As you will have seen from the title of this video, today I am going to be discussing as to whether Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout is that game. As usual, just before we begin, remember to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you enjoy the content on this channel and want to help it grow. Anyway, let's get started. Now, I'm going to get started with a bit of context to give you a rundown of how much I've played these games, just to give you an idea of my perspective and take on this discussion. Now, like any balanced debate, I will be giving reasons on both sides of the argument, and you are more than welcome to share your opinions in the comments below. I'm a strong believer of respecting other people's opinions, so whether you think Fall Guys is the new Battle Royale king or not, I will be happy to hear your thoughts. Anyway, when it comes to these games, I have played Fortnite longer than Fall Guys. With that being said, the last time I played Fortnite was back in Chapter 1, Season 1 or 2, I think. The latest thing to have come out in the game was that remote control rocket launcher. Now, of course, for this video, I jumped back into the game to get footage, but a lot of what I know about how Fortnite has evolved has come second hand and through the grapevines. Similarly, when it comes to Fall Guys, I have only played around 5 hours of the game. The reason I am telling you this is just to make you aware that this is not a discussion from someone who knows tons and tons about these games. So enough of me trying to justify myself, let's dive straight in by taking a look at the similarities and differences of these games and why Fall Guys could potentially be the next top dog. So right off the bat, of course, one of the most obvious things to talk about is that they are both battle royale games, but they offer different formats. While Fortnite offers the typical arena-based battle royale, where the entire battle takes place in one giant arena that slowly gets smaller over time until only one remains. Fall Guys has taken a completely different approach, however, when it comes to the formatting. Instead of one huge arena, Fall Guys have broken the Royale down into a sort of game show, which is in a very similar vein to Total Wipeout or Takeshi's Castle, in the sense that there are multiple challenge rounds that are selected almost at random, and only a certain number of contestants are allowed to proceed through to the next round. Unlike Fortnite, where all players are spread across a wide map, usually with some distance between them, Fall Guys takes a race start line approach with all players starting in the same place. This for me makes Fall Guys stand out and almost offers the opposite that Fortnite does. Everyone loves something different and unique that hasn't been done before, and I think this is definitely a positive for Fall Guys. Next up, I'm going to talk about the tone of each game. So starting off with Fortnite, which is a game that is of course designed to be fun to play, but as a whole and in this comparison, it can be said that Fortnite really offers a more competitive experience. The high skill ceiling that is involved, which includes combat tactics and building mechanics, really gear Fortnite to have a more formal and competitive edge compared to Fall Guys. Again, almost in complete contrast, Fall Guys is a casual experience that, yes, can result in rage, but the silliness and overall tone of the game really offers a more laid-back battle royale experience. There isn't anywhere near the same sort of skill ceiling Fortnite has. While yes, there are definitely some tips and tricks and ways to get better in more acute ways, but in comparison, this is noticeably lower in Fall Guys, which isn't a bad thing, of course, it's just a different user experience. Moving on to graphics and art style. So I'm going to say straight away that of course Fortnite is more graphically complex. You can see this immediately through the models and textures. Fortnite uses humans, so naturally when you're comparing this to the very simple and I guess alien-like creatures, factually it is technically more advanced, but this is just an art style. It doesn't make the gameplay necessarily better or worse. There's no reason why Fortnite couldn't have been in the Fall Guys style and vice versa. Now I actually think going down the simplistic route route is really a sensible decision for Fall Guys. Yes, it might not look as impressive, but it's definitely unique, and by having a simple character model, it allows the creation of skins to be easier and less time consuming for the devs. As well as this, because the stages in Fall Guys are made of simple coloured geometric shapes, in theory creating new levels would be much quicker than adding things into Fortnite. So from a production point of view, I think it is quite clever. However, just keep in mind I don't know much about game production, so I could be completely wrong on the time it takes to create new content. Coming up next is luck versus skill. Now, to win in either of these games depends on a number of things, but I think the two biggest factors are luck and skill. So whilst both of these games involve both elements, I think out of the two games, Fall Guys is seemingly more leaning towards the luck side of things. What I mean is that luck has more of a say in whether you are able to win, and the reason for this I think is partly due to the team based rounds that you can face. You could be the best Fall Guys player in the world, but if you are suddenly grouped into a team that is poor at a specific challenge, you aren't going to win. The only thing that determines you getting through that round is luck. I also think that perhaps because the game itself isn't that complex, yes, it involves some timing and platforming, but the skill ceiling isn't particularly high. Fortnite, on the other hand, I believe involves a lot more skill when it comes to winning, mainly because of shooting mechanics, you need good aim, and the building mechanics that are difficult to master. If you have high skill in these areas, you have a higher chance of winning. Yes, luck definitely plays its part. You might not have been able to find good loot, or you just get ambushed out of nowhere, for example. But contrasting to Fall Guys, I think Fortnite leans more towards skill. Now, of course, neither of these things are wrong. Again, they are just different, but I think it highlights that Fall Guys is designed for a more casual experience that might be more appealing to a younger demographic. The final thing I would like to discuss in this part of the video is free to play versus paid. So this is a really interesting one. So as we know, Fortnite has been free to play for a very long time, apart from what's going on now with Apple, and I think this has been very successful. It enables any gamer, regardless of their budget, as long as they have a console or mobile device of course, to play the game, which of course is a big plus. And it has been proven time after time that microtransactions do work. So to me, it's actually really surprising that you have to pay for Fall Guys, which at a glance seems the much simpler game. Yes, if you have PS Plus, you don't have to pay for it, but in real terms, you have to pay for the game, which for me, as it stands, is pretty expensive for what is currently in the game. However, I would like to think that as there is an upfront cost, they are planning to add more and more to this game as time goes on. But interestingly, once again, this is different to Fortnite. You feel that the company behind this game has really done their research and have done their best to find a gap in the market and have tried to do everything they can to make their game different from what's gone before. So those are some of the similarities and differences between these games. In this next section, I'm going to be talking about the biggest reason why I think Fall Guys could be the next Fortnite, but also the biggest reason why it might not be. Now, the main point in my opinion that goes against Fall Guys being the new Fortnite is related to content creation for the game. One of the things that can have a tremendous impact on a game's popularity and life cycle is its presence in the gaming community, particularly online with YouTube video creators and streamers. If the huge massive channels out there that have millions of subscribers thoroughly enjoy a new game and pump out new and exciting content for the world to see, it's likely to start to gain a lot of traction and has a pyramid selling effect. If smaller YouTubers with, let's say, hundreds of thousands of subscribers see the larger YouTubers doing well off a new game, they will have an incentive to start playing the game themselves, as they'll be thinking, ooh, that big YouTuber is playing that game and doing really well. You know what? I want a slice of that cake. I'm going to start playing that game that is obviously so totally awesomely amazing because that totally awesomely amazing YouTuber is playing that game, and if I play that game, I'm going to become the next PewDiePie. This then kind of cascades down to the many different tiers of YouTubers, which I think is an effect that's happened to Fall Guys, which has made it grow so quickly in such a short amount of time. But let me get back to the main point here. What exactly do I mean? Well, because Fall Guys is such a simplistic game with not that many complex mechanics, the scope as it stands for content creation is fairly limited in my opinion. Yes, we have thousands of funny moments, epic wins, stream highlights, playthroughs, etc. But where do you go from there? If we take the focus back onto Fortnite, which objectively has much more complex mechanics at its core, there is a much more scope for new and exciting content creation. For example, as Fortnite involves looting, looting, tutorials were created of the best looting routes. It has a ton of different weapons and ways to win the game, which lends itself to the endless challenge videos we still see today. It has a very complex and high skill ceiling building system that people can create tips and tricks for. It has a creative mode. Yes, Fortnite didn't always have this mode, but this allowed for custom game modes and loads of other really cool content. Now, I have no idea what Fall Guys has planned in the future. Who knows, they might be adding a create your own challenge mode where you can build a set of challenge stages, which would be amazing. But if I'm doing a direct comparison today as it stands, my one concern that may stop Fall Guys being as big, if not bigger than Fortnite, is the content creation aspect of it. So now let's flip this on its head. What is the biggest reason, in my opinion, why Fall Guys could be the next Fortnite? Well, I think this comes down to the fact that Fall Guys is something new and refreshing, yet still follows the Battle Royale genre. There have been a lot of games that have a very similar format and style to Fortnite, however Fall Guys has really put a new spin and completely new format on the Battle Royale genre. Now, the idea of a round-based competition isn't new, but I think it's a new and refreshing take in the industry. Whilst Fortnite is still doing really well, it has been around for quite some time now, and I guess there will be a number of players out there who may be still enjoying the game or still enjoying battle royales, but looking for something different, something that isn't your typical Fortnite reskin or a shooter game. Fall Guys, I think, has tapped into the gap in the industry that potentially has an even wider demographic than Fortnite, in the sense that even younger children will be able to play it. There's no guns or any type of formal fighting. It's silly, funny and casual, which I think can appeal to young children, but it also has that competitive edge and a cute skill ceiling that older groups will find engaging too. It also appears from images that have come about that there are going to be some really interesting collaborations with other big companies. For example, there's this one where we could potentially be seeing Disney character skins. This of course is very similar to Fortnite, teaming up with Marvel, which has brought the Avengers and other superheroes to the game. If this is the case, Fall Guys certainly has some big backing, which again makes it a contender against Fortnite. To finish off, I want to mention that at the time of recording, if you take a look at the Twitch stats, currently Fall Guys is actually beating Fortnite when it comes to views. However, you do have to take into consideration that the game was only released recently, so naturally this will attract more attention to the game. It's going to be interesting to see after a couple of months whether Fall Guys is going to be the new king of battle royales, or whether it was just a fad that will get blown over and might soon be forgotten. But only time will tell. Anyway guys, that's about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Fall Guys is the new Fortnite or not? But other than that, remember to subscribe and I shall see you in the next one. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.